The Prophet said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, that the river Euphrates will uncover a mountain of gold. And those of you who have been listening to me are all already familiar with the hadith and my interpretation, so I can be rapid now. The river Euphrates will uncover a mountain of gold, and people will fight for that gold. And 99 out of every 100 who fight for the gold will be killed. And each one will say, I'll be the one who will survive, but the Muslims must not touch that gold. Number one, no war in human history, no war has killed 99% of combatants. So this has to be a unique war in human history. Secondly, it has to be a war using weapons of mass destruction. Normal weapons cannot kill 99%. No. With weapons of mass destruction, the one that we are accustomed to now is nuclear weapons, thermonuclear weapons. What else there is, I don't know. So this appears to be the malhama that the Prophet ﷺ spoke about. What about the mountain of gold? Can a mountain of the metal come out from underneath a river? Is this muhkam, something to be understood literally? Or is it mutashabiha, something to be interpreted? Something underneath the river in a vast quantity, symbolized by a mountain, is one day destined to function as gold, and it's oil. But one day oil will function as gold. And that the monetary system, which will be based on oil functioning as gold.
From satellite image, it shows clearly that the Euphrates River is extremely drying up. The Euphrates River is the longest and the most important river in the Middle East. Originating in Turkey, the Euphrates flows through Syria and Iraq to join the Tigris in the Shatt al-Arab, which empties into the Persian Gulf. Since the last 2 decades, the Euphrates is continuously drying up. Strangled by the water policies of Iraq's neighbors, Turkey and Syria, 3 years severe drought, the shrinking of the Euphrates, a river so crucial to the birth of civilization that the Book of Revelation prophesied its drying up as a sign of the end time.
Iraq has been pleading with Turkey to increase the flow of water downstream along the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. As both countries face droughts and tensions over resource management, Baghdad has made comments that the dam constructed in neighboring countries impact its water levels in the rivers, and by doing so, causes shortages. The two countries have been discussing quantities of water arriving in Iraq through the Tigris and Euphrates from Turkey. The issue of managing water resources has raised tensions between the Middle Eastern countries. Iraq has seen 3 years of successive droughts and has cut in half agricultural areas for its 42 million inhabitants. Water reserves have dropped 60% compared to last year, also adding that the water levels arriving from the Tigris and the Euphrates were around a third of over the past century, according to the statistics. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights warns of an imminent environmental disaster that threatens food, security, and a humanitarian catastrophe.
prépare une fois de plus à lancer une opération dans le nord de la Syrie. Après plusieurs avertissements que l'opération est imminente, le président turc Tayyip Erdoğan a donné mardi plus de détails concernant le plan militaire.
Une fois de plus, je déclare que nous entrons maintenant dans une nouvelle phase.
They rejected the plan before they saw it. They thought it wasn't going to be as good as it was. So I think they look quite foolish today. Also, one of the great ironies is they keep saying they want to be a state. So this is a real moment for them to show the world, are you ready to become a state or not?
Good evening. Around 60,000 people killed and dozens more have been injured on both sides of the border.
Kushner making an unannounced trip to Baghdad to show support for Iraq's government as it fights ISIS forces in Mosul. Kushner is traveling with Joseph Dunford, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Margaret Brennan has more on Kushner's ever-expanding